All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 2, Episode 40. Skydio 2, Red, White, and Blue. How is everyone doing tonight? Drone Shots, welcome. Glad you are here. We are happy. We have Marcus is in the house with us right now, and Ron will be joining us shortly. Marcus, how are you this evening?
Darn good, Bill. I'll be honest with you, it's been an exciting day today,
It
hasn't it?
sure has. It's just like last night. I'm wondering, like, oh, what are we going to be talking about tonight? And today, I'm like, there's no problem there, none whatsoever. I mean, yes, and I have my problem solved with you. Used to be hearing me, the feedback of the echo. Well, I got that issue resolved as far as the echoing is concerned. So we've gotten that all taken care of. Mike Kinney, welcome. Drone Shots, welcome. Glad you guys are here tonight and joining us. We have a lot to talk about tonight. We're gonna talk about we're gonna get a Zino Pro update from Marcus and Ron. We're also going to talk GoPro Hero 8. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. The Osmo Action, there was a firmware update, and it was a pretty big firmware update. We're going to talk about that some tonight. We're also going to talk about the American Security Drone Act. Rick Smith had a great video on that, and I think it's really important that everybody pay attention to this because this is a real big deal here. And the big news is Skydio 2. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about that tonight, and we're going to take a straw poll on that. So without any further ado, let's jump into it, Marcus. The Zino Pro. Why don't you tell us, cost, when we can expect it and all that kind of good stuff?
Well, the short answer, Bill, is I wish I knew when we could expect it. There was a rumor that it was going to be out today, and I have to tell you, I was poised on the buy button this morning, and it didn't show. But I did notice now that on Banggood, you were able to pre-order it a few days ago. Now they have their button just says notify. In other words, they'll notify you when it's available. But it's going to be reasonably priced. The full retail is $399. I know Banggood had it as cheap as $369. I suspect it's we'll see it probably in the low 300s. I'm quite sure. The one thing that did happen, Bill, is that yesterday Zino came out with an update for the firmware on the original Zino, and in fact, I rushed out and got that done right before ZinoNation. I took it up and flew it and tried out the new firmware, and it seems to be a pretty decent. Although they still have that camera firmware, the 0.3.8. that is just buggy as all get out. It looks like the video pulses on the screen. It's not good at all. So I rolled it back to the older version of the camera firmware only. Yeah, that's about it. It's just kind of a waiting game for that thing. And to your point, Bill, I think that companies like Fimi, Hubsan, some of the little Chinese manufacturers, if they would communicate with us better and give us a date, right? Tell us that, hey, it's going to be available on this day or whatever, they'd probably get a much better reception, and I suspect they'd get more orders. But the other factor that's going on is I think people are starved for those mid-priced drones now. And for instance, like the Fimi X8 is sold out. I don't know anywhere where you can buy that right now. I think you can still get the Zino, but that tells you how much of a market there is for those mid-priced drones, because people are willing to put up with that uncertainty to get them. So yeah, that's probably more information than you asked for, Bill, but it is.
No, that was absolutely fine, because I know a lot of people are trying to weigh the pros and the cons, and I think, what was it? Who did it? Was it was it Hubsan? Yeah, I think Hubsan had a video. Was it Hubsan that had the video out on the Pro where it was done? It wasn't done landscape. It was done vertical.
Yeah, the 4-kilometer deal.
The 4-kilometer deal. Yeah. What about that? I mean, that sounded like it might be legit, right?
Well, I think it'll do it. But I had a couple problems with what they did there. For one thing, they were flying at 400 meters, right?
Right.
They had that thing more than three times the legal height of what we can fly at. And I think that gave them that good reach with the controller, right, as part of it, because it's way up there. So it's shooting up. There's nothing interfering with it. And obviously it's illegal. If anybody did that, we'd all be reporting them and freaking out. So, of course, that's in China. I don't know what their laws are, but they did make it out there. But if you watch that video, man, they barely made it home. I think it had not barely, but they had 18% battery. If I was, for some reason, thought I needed to fly out 4 kilometers, I don't know why I would, but if I thought I did, I have to tell you, I would want a bigger cushion than 18% battery to fly it back. So it was an interesting test. I guess they showed that it could do it, but I don't think it's real world.
Well, I agree, because at that kind of height, you're probably, depending upon wind speeds and everything, they might have a tailwind, so to speak. That they might have calculated that to get it up there, so that's why they may have chosen that height. We don't know. I mean, it's just.
How about this, Bill? How many drones did they lose? Making that one video.
Yeah, you might be right on that one too. I mean, we don't know, but that's a real good point. The next thing I want to talk about here before we get to the Osmo, and I do want to talk a little bit about that, is GoPro announced its Hero 8, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let's take a look. Okay. This is the article on Drone DJ. On the left is the GoPro Hero 8. On the right is the GoPro Max 360. Some of the things on what I heard about this here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to roll a little bit of this clip here. Why not? Cut it down a little bit here.
They get some great shots that we people in the real world never get.
Oh, I know. I mean, look at some of these things. Okay, on the side of that helicopter, and
it's cool. It's undeniably cool.
Oh, absolutely. On the side of the car.
Yeah. This guy's phenomenal, man. This one, that guy with the jetpack.
Oh, the jetpack, yeah. Okay. I just wanted to give everybody a flavor for that. One of the things that they did talk about, and I think they did say that there is no, now if you take a look here on the actual case itself, okay, what they are saying this time around, you're not going to need a cage like you have around on the Osmo Action or like on the GoPro Hero 7. But one of the, yeah. And one of the other things that I did hear was that it runs hot, and it runs very hot from what they were saying. Marcus, what are some of your thoughts about from what you
heard? I'm a GoPro fan, and this Hero 7 made me a GoPro fan. I never, in the past, I always just bought some of the cheap Chinese knockoff action cameras because they were pretty good, right? But then this guy came out with the stabilization, the smooth stabilization that wow, was just phenomenal and worked really good. Made me a fan. But looking at the 8, I just don't see that it brings that much to the table that's gonna make me want to buy that over this one that I already have. Now, some of those attachments are interesting. For me in particular, the mic especially, I'm always interested in getting some good audio, windproof audio. So if that, they call it the vlogging package or vlogging case or something like that, if that works, boy, that'd be great. The issue is that doesn't come out until December. So they're doing just kind of like what DJI does.
Yeah.
And I think it's a problem. I mean, I think that'll probably keep a lot of people from buying it until they see those accessories and see how they work. Now, when those accessories come out and somebody does a review and says, boy, that microphone is phenomenal, it's windproof or something, hey, I potentially could be interested and pull the trigger. But until then, I'll be honest with you, I'm not that excited about it.
Well, you know, one of the other things that I heard as well is, you know, somebody said it was a reviewer who had it. He dropped it from 3 feet. Now you expect on an action cam that it's going to be, you know, have some durability to it. Said that the entire back of the glass cracked. It had to be replaced as far as that was concerned. And, you know, Marcus, you bring up a good point, you know, with the accessories not being available. And also too, they're starting out, the MSRP on this is $400. Okay. Now, you know, even with tariffs, okay, the DJI Osmo Action, you can get it for $340. All right. And it has everything that you have in this one. Now, you know, the sound improvements here, and I'm going to show you this, guys. All right. I got 2 things today. I got my PGY Tech case, and I want to thank Aldrin Estacio from Flight Path because he did a review, and this was the only case that will work with the microphone adapter that I have on here. Okay. Now, what's nice with the microphone adapter, and I wanted to kind of point this out, is on the bottom is a USB port. It's right here. So when this is in here, you can actually, you don't have to take everything out to charge the battery up. You can hook it up and charge the battery, or if you want to hook it up to your PC to download photos or movies off of here, you can do that, which is a really nice option. Now, I also got a microphone for this too, and it's going to mount on. There's a cold shoe on the PGY Tech case. We're going to mount that. So hint, I think a video may be coming up, Marcus, on the Osmo Action with the microphone. And I'm also going to be using, just for comparison's sakes, I have a lavalier microphone, Manovo, and I'm going to use that with this too. So we're going to see what sounds best, and I'm going to do an inside-outside kind of test here. I'm not going to prolong it, but I think just to give us a flavor of what's going on there with all this. So now for something else here, you know, being along the lines of action cams, you know, this kind of snuck in, and this just came out. This came out today. They released a firmware update on the Osmo Action, and I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys here. Now, what's real interesting is, okay, there's a number of things on here, but the number one thing is they added hyperlapse on here. You know, that is a game changer for an action cam, having hyperlapse on there. I think that's absolutely fantastic. You know, added time settings for turning the touchscreen off automatically while now recording. Now that's a good one because it's kind of annoying that it shuts off so soon. You know, 30 seconds or maybe a minute, you know, it shuts off and you're not seeing it. And I think some people want to keep it on, you know, realize you're going to lose your battery. Added Thai and Arabic languages, and also reduce the live latency when video resolution was set to 2.7K and 1080p. All right, you know, and that's probably very good because there is some latency when you're filming that. But I think this is an incredible release. Having hyperlapse on here is going to be fantastic. I can hardly wait. I'm going to definitely be trying that out and doing a test. And hint, you'll probably see another video on hyperlapse on that. So, but this is fantastic. And I'm telling you what, for my first action cam, I don't think I could have made a better decision, Marcus. Really, I was so pleased that I got this, and it has performed exceedingly well. I am so pleased with this.
And I will add to that, Bill, especially from a value proposition as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Want to go ahead and welcome some more people into the chat before we move on here. FSU grad 03, Bill Hood, Lauren's in the house, Timothy Huxell, Mitch is here, Pete Carroll, Josh is here, Parks and Tech. Let's see who else. Mike Kinney, Jeremy Zahora. Let's see who else. Brad Hendo's here. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Okay. Gonna kind of switch gears here. Now, I hope everybody subscribed to Drone Valley and Rick Smith. Okay. Rick's one of my very favorite drone people out there. Okay. Personality wise, personally, you know, if he was living close by, we would be chumming around an awful lot, because he's very personable, wonderful to be around. Can't say enough great things about him. He put out a video yesterday, he put out a vlog, and he talked about a number of things, including he's going to be offering finally, and I've been waiting, I've been asking him when he's going to get a drone, when can I get a Drone Valley t-shirt, okay? Because I love t-shirts, all right? Well, he's finally going to have them for sale, all right? I got the mug, I got the hat, I even have in this, I even have the coaster, which I use every day, and thank you for this, Rick. But I am so excited that he's finally offering t-shirts. Okay. Anyway, let me get to the subject. He talked about last night, and I think this is something we really need to pay attention to here. It's the American Security Drone Act of 2019 would halt federal agencies from buying DJI drones. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. There was an article from Drone DJ. I want to get this up on the screen so you guys can take a look at this here. Lawmakers from both the Republican and Democratic sides have introduced legislation titled the American Security Drone Act 2019 on Wednesday that aims to stop federal agencies from purchasing DJI and other drones manufactured in China or in any other country that is considered a national security risk. Many federal departments and agencies are already using DJI drones, so needless to say that if the bill would pass, it would affect many different parts of the federal government. It said if the bill turns into law, federal officials would have 180 days to stop using drones from China and other countries that are considered a risk to our national security. It would also mean that local police forces and other law enforcement agencies would not be able to use federal money to purchase banned drones. Obviously, the main target here is drones from DJI. Okay, and there's links to the descriptions and everything that we're talking about tonight, so you definitely can go check this out. Marcus, what's your reaction and thoughts to this?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I thought Rick was right on the spot on with his assessment of the thing. Now, that said, I understand why people are nervous about products that come from China, particularly products that can communicate and do things. I mean, you know, hence the whole Huawei thing that's going on. The problem with China is it is a dictatorship, essentially. And so if you're a company in China, the government can force you to do whatever they want. It's not like over here. And we saw it, our federal government asked Apple Computer to crack into one of their phones, and Apple told them to go fly, and they've got to take them to court to get that done. Then in China, those companies can, if the government says we want information, they have to give it up. And so the concern is that, you know, they're getting GPS information, you know, the drone is up someplace where they have a picture of maybe some safety sensitive, you know, area or whatever. But the flip side of that coin is what Rick said. He goes, you know, there are almost every piece of electronics that we have now. I don't know where this GoPro is made, but I'm willing to bet that it's from China, and it's connected to the internet, and it, you know, so what's the difference between that and a million? So shoot, my brand new Apple iPhone 11 Pro is made in China. So an Autel Evo drone is made in China. I mean, so really virtually all of our electronics are coming from China right now. So why are drones being carved out of that picture? I'm not sure. And especially when they have made it so that all of those, they've addressed those security concerns in that those drones do not communicate back to China. In other words, they've set those commercial drones up, and the ones that the government use, to where the communication is just between the drone and the controller, and then whatever happens with that data is what you do with it. That the no way does the drone nor the controller communicate over the internet, communicate back anywhere unless you want it to. So it is a little bit overblown. I really am afraid it's an overreaction, but I understand the need for caution. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I agree 100%, Marcus. And I think one of the points I think that Rick made that's very well taken, that really kind of resonated, because you know, as you know, this channel is very good friends with Romeo Dersher, who's public safety director for DJI, and is just has really championed the cause of especially the Mavic 2 Enterprise. In fact, he was he was on the design team for that, and also the thermal edition as well too. And you know, Rick brought up the point is these drones are saving lives, okay? And what would it be for you to take from XYZ fire department a tool that they've been used to save lives? For example, you know, the thermal imaging drone, you know, being able to spot somebody, you know, near a window, to be able to you know, get them out safely in the middle of the night in a forest. If a Alzheimer's patient is lost and, you know, time is running out and they can find somebody because of that thermal heat signature, or for instance, and this has already been shown, and there was something on Drone DJ the other day about this, that somebody with a drone warned somebody, it was a Mavic 2 Enterprise that had a speaker on it, warned somebody of a shark in the area. And there was an overhead picture from the drone that, sure enough, it showed that. I mean, you know, time and time again, it's, you know, we're seeing drones making a difference in terms of being able to save people's lives. And you know, while I understand in the security concerns, okay, like Marcus said, there was a thorough independent company that investigated this, and there was absolutely no connection. There's no data that's being sent back to China. And let's say, for instance, there's Ron. Ron, welcome tonight. Glad to see you.
Hello, Bill. How are you?
Doing excellent. Doing very well. We're talking about the American Drone Security Act right now. Rick Smith had put out a video and talked partially about that. But I'm kind of wanted to get, I don't know if you saw Rick's video or not, but basically the whole gist of this is what they want to do is they want to prevent the U.S. government from using any Chinese manufactured drone. And that would also stop federal funds for police agencies and first responders for being able to use these drones as well too. I don't know if you've heard any of that or not, but this has been introduced in the Senate, and this just got introduced the other day in legislation. And there's just been an awful lot of talk about this. And just, you know, I heard what Marcus had to say. I didn't know if you had any thoughts on this or not.
Well, Bill, it all sounds very interesting, but I'm not up on this story, so I don't really have a lot of input now. But I will follow it now that you brought it up. It seems interesting.
Yeah, I think my big point is that Rick talked about, and Rick put it out. He had a vlog video, so you may want to definitely go watch that. You know, and Cold War television brings up a good point here. Time is crucial in search and rescue, and you know, these drones have been proven to save lives for other people. And number one point that I want to make. Number two is this: okay, what kind of data is the Chinese government going to get from all these drones here? That this person got saved, that you know, we were able to assess this area after a fire, that we were able to save this person from drowning in their boat. You know, what kind of data are they going to get from this, even if it was happening? Okay,
but Bill, that's an excellent point you make there. I mean, I understand the whole Huawei thing, because the Huawei could be stealing sensitive phone calls, and they make internet equipment. They could be stealing, you know, important files off the internet. But I mean, most of us hobbyist drone flyers, and even the professional drone flyers, we're flying in parks, fields. The professional flyers, they're flying, you know, they're taking real estate and rooftops and whatever. and any of sensitive federal government areas, you're not allowed to fly the drone anyway. So,
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's flying a drone over Area 51. It's not allowed. I mean, airports are secure because if drones were, flown at airports, they would quickly be shut down, arrested. The drones would be confiscated. So, I mean, again, I definitely understand the Huawei situation, why, they've been caught, with their phones and their internet equipment or whatever. But, it's this whole hysteria about drones. See, people that don't fly drones or don't know what they're drones think all drones are like the ones the military have.
Mm-hmm.
They think they're all got payloads of weapons on, and have zoom cameras can zoom in 100 miles away and hear audio from 100 miles away. I think that, again, I'm not knocking. I don't want to get political, so I'm not knocking senators from any party, but we've seen on occasion, we've seen senators make very uninformed comments about tech. Like it was something in the last year or two where a senator thought Google made the iPhone. I mean, again, these are a lot of these are older men. They're very behind on tech. Again, I'm not picking both parties. I'm not saying this isn't a party at all, but a lot of these people, Congress, the senator, the older people, they're very uninformed in tech, and unfortunately, they're usually in charge of these committees of stuff that they have very little knowledge of. So that's my 2 cents for what it's worth. But I mean, I totally understand where Bill's coming from on this issue.
No, not to belabor the point at all. We're going to move on to our main topic of the evening, which a lot of people, and G-Boy 185, fear mongering is its finest. He's absolutely 100% right. I mean, that's what this is. And Ron brings up a great point too, is that a lot of the senior senators and senior representatives are out of touch with technology. Okay. And if you're that far out of touch with technology, okay, you need to educate yourself before you vote on something. Okay.
Hey, Bill.
Yes, sir.
So just a couple of points that I want to make. So the other thing that could be possible is they may have some kind of information that we're not privy to, right? And if that's the case, all bets are off, right? That we may not know. So I don't think that's the case, but you never know. And so, because if they gave us that information, maybe they don't want to give something up. The other thing is Mike Roche makes a good point up there that both Apple and Amazon have found some chips in their products that are manufactured in China that weren't in their design. so
surprise.
Yeah. So there's some other stuff. While I agree with your point, and I don't misunderstand what I'm saying, I agree with your point, and I agree with what Rick was saying, but we do need to be cautious as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely here. Well, we're going to move on to the El Primo #1 subject. It was like I was thinking when the day began, oh, what are we going to talk about? And then I forgot GoPro Hero 8 came out today. Osmo Action came out with a major firmware update. And Skydio is now, you can now pre-order the Skydio 2. Okay. Well, and then today we got some incredible information on that. And let's spend a few minutes to go over that. And then we're going to talk about this in depth here. So let's go ahead and share the screen. All right. Now, the first thing that I want to say, and I think this should strike everybody, you notice that the front propellers are on the bottom and the rear propellers are on the top. I mean, that was the very first thing that jumped out at me right away. I mean, it was just boom, right there. All right. Now, we're gonna take a look at it. The Skydio 2 starts at $999. A controller and Skydio beacon can be bought for an additional $149 each. The company also, and this is huge. This is absolutely huge. The company also promises to repair or replace your lost or damaged drone for free as long as you fly within their safety guidelines. Designed and built right here in the USA with groundbreaking features and priced well below the ever more expensive DJI Mavic 2. Okay, we're gonna move on here. Obviously, there's some pictures, and I dropped a link to this article in the description so everybody could check that out. The battery being changed right here. Just some incredible, absolutely.
I have one comment.
Yes, sir.
Though I suspect that Brian at True Drone Reviews was the first one to hit the button this morning.
Really?
I just suspect. I can't say for certain.
You think so? I mean, this is, you know. Okay, we're going to take a look. I'm gonna roll this video because I think it's a good video to watch. So let's go ahead and watch this here.
Bill, is that your Phantom?
That's my Phantom. Not anymore.
Are those obstacle avoidance sensors on top there, the front propellers?
You said it's 360, Ron.
They're
Obstacle
cameras
avoidance all around.
And I suspect that that's the reason that they're inverted, and the reason they're doing the things is for camera placement. And I suspect that's the same reason that battery is on the bottom.
You're right.
They've got that 360 camera on the top.
And why those props are on the bottom and the front is probably to keep them out of the shot, no matter how wide you go.
Exactly.
I'm gonna like this. I don't have to fly anymore. I just the Skydio does it all for me. I just ride my motorcycle along.
That
little beacon sort of looks like my Insta360.
Yeah, it does.
I bet you can't use FPV goggles with this.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm just joking. I had no idea. No idea. Oh. Mark, is that your garage area they're flying in?
Close. That was my Anafi controller, though.
Bill, I pre-ordered the Skydio. They set the controller first. Yeah, I got the controller already. The drone's coming later. 12 megapixels, so we don't have a 20 megapixel sensor like the Parrot and Anafi.
No, you know, one of the things that impressed me was, okay, it said that, and I need to go find the article here. And the article was actually from Skydio themselves. It talked about how those sensors, and I want to get the article up from Skydio themselves here. There we go.
I got mine too, Bill.
Okay.
Just put your hand over it. There you go. Now Marcus has it.
They sent me my controller for the Skydio.
All right, let's go ahead and share this here. Okay, just to get you some idea of some specs here. 4K 60 HDR camera, autonomous speed 36 miles an hour, battery 23 minutes, 50% quieter, 3-axis gimbal, range 3.5 kilometers.
Now, Bill, it's 50% quieter than what?
Yes, that's the question, Ron. I was just going to say that.
But Bill, there's your 4K 60 everybody wanted on the Mavic 2 Pro or Mavic 2 period.
Yes, sir. Now you got that. Okay, I want to stop here for a second, all right? And Ron, Marcus, and I all 100%. Okay, we have a strong suspicion that where they got this controller from is from Parrot, because it is 100% the one from the Parrot and Anafi. I mean, just 100% spot on. Ron and Marcus already have their controllers for them.
It's just identical.
Right. I mean,
right down to the buttons, right down to where the logo is. It says,
the return to home icon's exactly the same.
Yeah, Skydio instead of Parrot. But so I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm gonna get both that beacon and the controller. So
I'm just gonna I'm gonna do the firmware update and make the Navi controller work with it. It'll be like a smart controller. I'll be able to switch between drones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, so what you're seeing right here is that NVIDIA processing cores. That's huge. So anybody that knows about artificial intelligence, NVIDIA is making the preeminent chip for AI, and that's what is in a lot of our video cards and our computers. And NVIDIA is at the very, very top of that game. So that's kind of interesting that I was happy to see that they were using NVIDIA chips.
I was going to say that, Marcus. And the other thing, and I wanted to talk about this, Better Eyes, Seymour with 6 4K navigation cameras, utilizing 45 megapixels of visual sensing from 6 200-degree color cameras. Skydio 2 can see everything in every direction with unprecedented resolution and clarity. This is the foundation of trustworthy autonomous flight. That excites the daylights out of me because, I mean, we're talking that there's no limits to what this drone can see. Like its field of vision is 360. I mean, truly 360. And the whole thing now, and you take a look here, and they do this. Skydio 2, 45 megapixels. The Mavic 2, they estimate 4.9, and they estimate 1.9 for the Mavic Air.
Hey, Bill, can I speak to that for just a second?
Yes, sir.
Well, so one of the things that you can kind of get a little confused about. So this looks bad, right? You're looking at the Mavic 2 and the Mavic Air, and I'm a fan of all these drones. So I don't, I like them all. But the Mavic 2 and the Mavic Air were not designed to do what the Skydio is designed for. So, those kind of that can be a little bit misleading when you those kind of specs. I mean, I see what the point that they're making, but the Mavic 2 was never made to follow you through trees like,
what they 100%, Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, what it's designed to do is not crash into the tree, not necessarily follow you all the way through it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's a great point because, obviously, this is marketing right here. Right. They're wanting you to see, oh, look at this compared to the Mavic 2 and Mavic Air. Well, now I will say this, I agree with you 100% on the Mavic 2. However, remembering that promo that they did for the Mavic Air, they had it, they really touted the obstacle, it being able to fly around, things like I did a demo outside. I set up my garbage can and my recycle can, and I got it to where it flew through both of them. I was flying straight at one. It went around one, and then it hopscotched over the other one. Okay. Now that
APAS, they called it.
Yeah, the APAS. And it worked great. So I kind of see why they, why the Mavic Air may have been included here. But I agree with you 100% on the Mavic 2. That's not what that drone is for. Okay, we'll definitely agree. Now, you talk about over here. It says at the heart of the Skydio 2 is the NVIDIA Jetson TX2, the fastest, most powered, efficient, embedded AI computing device available. 256 GPU cores capable of 1.3 trillion operations a second. Skydio 2 is a flying supercomputer.
Well, Bill, it's good if they gave the name Jetson.
Oh, absolutely.
I wonder if it'll make the noise, of the flying car.
I think it will.
Now, here's that comparison
video.
This
is a great video.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely love this, okay? And you see the Skydio 2 is still going here, but the Mavic 2 has stopped because of all the trees and all the obstacles.
But I'm going to argue that the Mavic 2 did exactly what it was designed to do.
I agree with you 100%.
That's not to crash into the tree.
Exactly.
And that doesn't make the Skydio any less phenomenal. That's phenomenal what the Skydio is doing, but the Mavic 2 was never designed to do that.
I agree 100%. And
Marcus, was that you driving the quad in the video?
Well, I have to tell you, my quad would be a lot faster than that one.
Of course.
Okay. Straw poll time. Okay. And then now I want to get a straw poll from all those in the chat. How many of you have put a deposit down on the Skydio 2? Okay. Now, from the co-hosts, how many have put down a deposit on a Skydio 2?
All three of us.
All three of us did. Okay. Now, from everybody, how many new groups are there on the Skydio 2?
All three of us.
All three of us. And by the way, all of our groups are listed in the description. Please check them out and join these groups. I mean, we're going to put some great information up there.
Hey, Bill, so Mike Kinney makes an excellent point. And one of the things that I was really excited about the Skydio drone is it truly is an American drone. Not only is it designed here, it's built here. And that, to me, that's a big deal.
I agree 100%. I think, this is finally, we're getting something that what people have been asking for. And that's why I put this in the title, Skydio 2 red, white, and blue. We're finally seeing something made here in the United States by Americans, and it's made here in the United States by Americans, and it has some absolute cutting edge technology in this. And you know what? It's a cool looking drone. Okay. It doesn't look like the JJRC crap. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to knock on JJRC for a second. Okay. It's not a golden egg. Okay. We're not going to have a walk of shame with this kind of drone here. Okay. This is the kind of drone that is going to get you some incredible cinematic shots. Absolutely fantastic. It's going to, for lack of a better term, this follow me feature with that wand, it's going to be incredible. It's like, okay, put that wand in your pocket and do what you're going to do. If you're riding a bike or, if you're taking a nice walk and the drone's just following you around, you don't have a controller. You don't have your iPad, your phone or your tablet or anything. Okay. It's doing what it's going to do. I mean, that just blows me away. And I think one of the things that I think they really hit a home run on, guys, and I want to get your opinion on this, is the price. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I perfectly agree. Why everybody else's prices are skyrocketing, not just GGI's, but also, sorry, I got some kind of low-flying plane out here. But also, Alltel's prices rose during the tariffs. Somehow, because it's all made in the U.S., Skydio came at that $999 price point that people were trained for. So, I mean, I know the controller is another $150, but each controller is another $150, and that's going to push it up, but still makes it the best bargain in town.
Well, for what you get, Ron. Yeah, no, I agree, Ron. You make great points. For what you get. Here's what I'll say. I think it's appropriately priced. It's not like a screaming super bargain, but yet it's not overpriced either. And what we all know is we're going to buy at least one. And in my case, I'm going to buy both of those controllers because I think the beacon is going to be important as well. But we're also probably going to buy a couple of batteries, right? I mean, we will.
Right.
So that's going to put us at about $1,500, I'll bet you, by the time we're all said and done.
Hey, Marcus, you make a great point. If you don't care about the follow me stuff, if you don't surf and do extreme sports or whatever, you don't care about the follow surf. Yeah, the $999 isn't a bargain. It's just a decent price. But if you do care about that, coming at that $999 price, getting that incredible following avoidance technique, that's a bargain, I think, at that price, if that's what you're looking for, because you can't find that anyplace else. I mean, even if you get the Mavic 2 Pro, all you have is something that won't crash. You want something that follows you through the stuff you need to go through. So you're right for you and I, because you and I probably aren't going to do extreme sports with it, but the extreme sports people out there, it's more of a bargain for them than us. Bill, what do you have to think on that?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that, but also too, I think we need to remember about this camera. It's a 4K 60 and with a 3-axis gimbal, and that's something I think we've been waiting to see on another drone for a long time. I mean, really, if you really want to go back to it, everybody, was thinking that the Mavic 2 was going to have it when they came out with it, and it didn't. And everybody's like, but you take a look at it was the Phantom 4 Pro was the last one to do this. Now Ethan made a point with that controller. I'm pretty sure it's Wi-Fi connection as well. At that price point, you can get the Evo, which has a better connection. Okay, so yeah, that's something to be determined. We don't know what that is, Ethan, but you probably are right as far as the connection is concerned.
Hey, Bill, so what he's talking about, I have a theory about what he's talking about, why they didn't make it folding. I suspect it has to do, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I apologize.
No, go ahead. Absolutely.
I suspect it has to do with the 360 cameras and the way they had to mount them on the legs there. And I'm quite sure that that's why it's not folding, because, right, they're kind of going for the action sports group, which would make, they would really want something that folds. So there probably had to be a good reason that they didn't do it. And that's my guess. So that's just a guess.
Well, Ethan brought up, and on my mind, I brain fog here. The Evo has 4K 62. So but and the Evo has Brian just said the Evo has miles of range. It's a good, it does have good range, and they are right about that. And but I think one of the points, and I think we can't drive this home enough, is that this is going to be made here in the United States by Americans. Okay. And I think this is, you can't underemphasize this enough, I think, in my opinion, because to support our economy, I've been very pro Autel Evo. I don't have one myself. Would I like to get one? Absolutely. Have I flown it? Yes, I absolutely think it's a great drone. But while it's an American company, it's made over in China. Okay. It's not made here in the United States. However, Skydio, it's an American company. The Skydio 2 will be made here in the United States. And also to remember the Skydio 1, if you want to call it that, its price point was $2,700. Okay. So, we're in an atmosphere where, number one, this price point is very doable for a lot of people, as far as the range is concerned, as far as the price is concerned. And I think what Skydio did, I really like what they did, and being able, for example, when Unique came out with the latest Manus, all right, you had to pay, you had to pre-order, you had to pay the full amount. It was $599, $699 right away. Okay. Here they're having you put a $100 refundable deposit down. Okay. I think that that's absolutely fantastic. And then also too, Mitch brings up a great point. Okay. The warranty on this Skydio 2. Okay. Who has a warranty like this? If you're following their safety rules, all right, they'll repair or replace it for free. Okay. For free.
Did he say free?
Free.
With a capital
That's a big deal.
With a capital F. Free. Like no cost to you at all. Now,
Bill, I want to catch up, but I don't want you to get too far away. You had mentioned the Autel Evo, and I know it has a lot of sensors on it, but how does the Autel Evo's obstacle avoidance and I know they can't call it APAS, but how does that compare with the DJI products? Is it better? Is it not as good? Is it similar? Do you have an idea? I know you've never flown it, but
it's not. I'm sorry, Ron. It's definitely not as good. It doesn't have any back in the back at all. So if you're backing the drone up, it's like you better be watching where you're going, because you might hit something with that. All right. That's one of the things that people pointed out right away when the Evo came out, is it has no rear facing obstacle avoidance as far as that's concerned.
Okay, so if I'm an extreme sports guy, a snowboarder, a surfer, or whatever, the Evo's not really for me then.
Probably not, but I've seen them do like follow me's with boats. I know Original Dobo, Ken Dono, he did that with the Evo, and it looked really good. And they finally got it to where you can launch them from a boat. They did a firmware update where you could do boat launching. You used to not be able to do that from a moving boat, but now you can do that. They put that in the Evo with a firmware update. But I think for an action kind of a drone, I think this is going to be fantastic. And I think too, also, for this, again, this warranty on this. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm following the rules and if it breaks, boom. I mean, I'm going to get a new
That's
one
cool.
Yeah, but of course, I mean, the warranty is great, but it'll be great once we test it. Once the first person calls up and somebody actually picks the phone up at Skydio and honors the warranty. We've seen other warranties given out that weren't, where the customer service wasn't what it should have been. So, I mean, I'm not saying it won't be at Skydio, but that'll have to be tested.
Well, Cold War Television brings up, I think it's definitely competition for the Mavic 2. I think DJI will lower prices on their drones. And I think, too, he brings up a real good point, and this is something else that I wanted to touch on tonight before we close shop here is, all right, the talk had been, and I have a video coming out later this week, and I won't spoil it too much, but, we're talking about the small drone that we've seen pictures of with DJI and coming out by the end of this year and everything. Well, is something like this announcement from Skydio, is this going to push DJI to do something sooner? It might. There's a real good opportunity that it might do that. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, Bill, first of all, I want to interject. You forgot to mention there was another 4K 60 drone released since the last show. The unique Typhoon V20 Plus or whatever it's called with a Leica. Leica is one of the, just like Hasselblad, one of the premier boutique camera companies in the world, is now partnered with Unique. Now, Unique had 460 before they partnered with Leica, and we're kind of halfway joking because we've talked about this off air, and the Typhoon's ginormous, and it has battery and range limitations and whatever. So, but I don't want to segue off too much, but I think the Mavic Mini, it better not be priced at $999 now. You know what I mean? If it comes out and the price is $999, it may be in trouble.
Yeah. Marcus better hope that stock report looks good and that he's getting money through his account.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to do just fine, Bill, because I own a ton of NVIDIA stock.
There you go. Okay. We'll see. Go ahead.
Well, Marcus is doing fine unless Skydio falls out of the sky like the what was the GoPro drone?
That's true.
GoPro Karma, yeah.
And that's a good point, Ron. Seriously.
If it falls out of the sky, Marcus will only be able to afford a JJRC Aurora after that.
Hey, all kidding aside, let me tell you, that is a concern that I have, is that battery on the bottom. Let's hope that they have a really good way of securing that thing on there, because it's a bottom battery.
It was another famous drone with the batteries on the bottom and fell off. Was that the GoPro? Was that the Karma that had that problem?
Well, the Spark as well. The Spark
the Spark early on had that issue, but it was determined with the Spark. Owners weren't doing the double click on the Spark because. But
that's that aside, Bill. I mean, they have to make it foolproof. That's what I.
I agree, 100%.
Make it idiot proof. Yeah.
Hey, this is a little side note. I think we talked about this off air, but the last time about a week ago, I did the Mavic 2 asked me to do a firmware update, and the first thing it said was it has auto battery detection now. So if the battery isn't mounted improperly, it'll auto detect it's not improperly. It won't let you take off and warn you. So that's kind of off topic, but I thought that's good information.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, and I think I know where that came from, Ron. Was when Ken Dono and I went flying. And, and I'm looking and he's trying to clip his battery in and he says, this battery isn't going in. And I looked at it. I said, Ken, that battery's swollen. He goes, you're right. He goes, oh my gosh. And by the way, just as an update, he's having a hard time with DJI right now. They're really fighting him tooth and nail on this. And I'm 100% behind Ken on this. This is not, after a year, those batteries should not. He's had those batteries a year.
He's not the only one that's having the problem. So there's something going on with the Mavic 2 batteries. Not all of them, but some of them are swelling. And you got people like Ken, and that is having. He said the other day, didn't he, Bill, on the show, that he's only getting like 17 or 18 charges out of a battery. So now if you think that's what a battery costs, so that costs him about $5 every time he uses that battery, if that's all he gets out of it. If you divide the purchase price into that. So,
oh yeah, I mean that's that's real expensive, especially for him, and because he uses it professionally. It's not just
right.
he doesn't do recreational flying. He does a lot of using the Mavic 2 for business, and to be able to do that. I mean, and he and I were there. It was not haha funny, but he takes another battery out and he tries to go put it in. Same thing, okay. And he's looking at me like, and he's shaking his head, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Finally, his third battery, it was fine. He puts that in, and I mean, we had to end our flying because I was on my third battery, and he was on, he was still on his first, and it was still good. But he noticed, he said, when it landed, it wasn't fitting right, and he saw that there, and I told him, I said, it's swollen. It's just like, oh,
Bill,
okay.
Did you inspect your batteries? Are your batteries still in A1 condition?
Yeah, my batteries are good. I mean, every weekend, week in and week out, I look at those and I check them thoroughly. And you know what I do with my batteries is I leave them. Rick Smith, thank you. And by the way, thank you, Rick Smith. He got me a 3-pack of one of those fireproof containers for the batteries, and that's where they sit during the week. Okay, all 3 of them sitting there with that. Now, Mitch brings up a point here. They say the early batteries are the only ones with the problem. So that's a good point.
Well, Bill, then you got your Mavic 2 and at least one battery. You're one of the first people to get the Mavic 2.
Yeah, I mean, I ordered it. I ordered it. When we got back to the hotel from the event that day, and I got mine. Now that was on the 23rd. I got it on the 30th. It actually landed on my front door on the 30th of August. So it was a week later I got it. So it's an early on. And I feel very fortunate because I've, like, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with those batteries. I mean,
yeah, I had one of the early ones too. In fact, while they were saying it'll be on the website any minute, I was refreshing. And as soon as you could, I hit the button. But that's a whole nother story. But, but I have 2, just like you have those early batteries. But mine seem to be fine. And does it have something to do with, like, the way, Ken uses his in an extreme case, right? He's always out in the heat. He's always out in high humidity. I mean, I don't know, but I wonder if those are contributing factors.
Right, where you guys are babying your batteries a little bit more.
Possibly,
True.
right. We're
That's
not using them the same way he is.
Yeah, Ken's using.
Bill, you mentioned about the drone arriving and dropping off, and I want to get one quick a quick story before we end. How about the story about UPS got permission today? What is it, like 135 to deliver packages? They can start a fleet, and they don't even have to worry about line of sight flying. But I want to cut the punchline here. What if our Skydio 2 drones would arrive via UPS drone dropping them off on our front porches or whatever? A drone delivering a drone. Would that be the ultimate thing in the drone world?
As long as I'm out there and able to film it with my Osmo Action, I'm fine with it.
You made my day with that one, Ron.
I want to be able to use this, though, to do that. Mitch brings up a point too. Also, people run the batteries down to low, like 30% is a safe bet. That's true too. For me, I'm like Mitch. I get to 30% on my batteries. That battery, I move that to. I put in battery 2. Okay, I'm moving on for things like that. I've
Bill,
done that. Yeah.
On that subject, I just want to point out. So I'm with you. I try and do that as well. But when I never get that done is with the Spark. It seems, because it's such a short flight time.
Oh yeah.
And I don't do it on purpose, but it seems like, boy, I get messing around. By the time I get it back, I'm down to like 5% battery or something.
Oh yeah, it's real easy on the Spark. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, before you know it, in the blink of an eye, you're down to like 10% on there, and you're wondering what the heck happened. Where did it go? It's like, what did I do here, kind of a thing. And all of a sudden it's gone. I mean, it's just absolutely positively gone there. So I don't know. Well, I want to do a little bit of a promo. Then we're gonna have our good nights here. This Saturday night, we have on Six Pack Saturday night at 10 o'clock Eastern time. What are we going to do? Okay. We're going to have a lot of fun. Okay. I'm gonna have a giveaway, and it's gonna be a question. You're gonna have to answer this question, okay? And I've told the question to Ron and to Marcus. I think I've shared it with them, but I've told them this question. So it's gonna be real interesting to see if somebody can come up with the correct answer for it. But it's gonna be something nice, and I think, you know, we're just gonna kick it back and have some fun. We will talk about drones, of course. We are gonna do that. You know, we're going to talk about, well, you know, I'm going to show you, you know, this is the last day for my Note 8, okay, because my Note 10 Plus is coming tomorrow. So I am just absolutely positively thrilled to be able to do that. Now, you know, that's going to be and one of the things that I want to do on the Note 10 Plus is I'm going to hook it up to the controller and see how it works with the Mavic 2 and with the Phantom 4 Pro. So we're going to stay tuned for some videos on that.
And maybe the Note 10 will make a debut on Six Pack Saturday.
Absolutely. It could do that.
And take it out of its case. Let's see it in its full glory.
It will absolutely do that. And, you know, it's you know, and the 40, and by the way, I got a 45-watt charger for that too. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, that's well, it comes in the box with one, but I ordered another one because I know the missus. I already ordered it, and the only place I could find it was at Best Buy. Okay. It wasn't on Amazon. I mean, on Amazon, it said available in 1 to 2 months. And I said, no, we're going to get it here from Best Buy. So
I guess also it comes in the box with the iPhone Pro. I don't know what watt, but it's one of these big fast chargers.
Yeah, that could be one like that, because that 45 watt, supposedly the specs that I'm hearing on the Note 10 Plus is it will go from about 0% to 100% in a little over an hour. Okay, that's how fast that thing charges. Okay,
almost as fast as Marcus's Corvette,
and almost as fast as Marcus hitting the buy button.
Bill, back to Six Pack Saturday. Is there any truth that Mike Tomlin will be joining us for the show on Saturday after that big win last night in Cincinnati?
Well, you know, Coach obviously might make an appearance. You never know. That could very well be possible. He may make an appearance.
And Bill, will you apologize to him for do a little humble pie?
Oh yeah. Well, you know, it's like, well, here's what I have to say on the whole thing. Okay. All right. Let's look at this here, because I've heard a lot of things, and I won't digress too much here, but I will say this: they played the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. With apologies to Bengals fans out there. Okay. They played the Bengals and they beat the Bengals last night. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay. That's all.
Here comes all the thumbs down from the Cincinnati area here.
Yeah, I'll probably be getting some dislikes because of that tonight. So, well, you know what? We're going to wrap things up here, you know, and I want to see, you know, I hope you guys can show up Saturday night. Just kick back, you know, bring a 6-pack of Coke or Pepsi or, you know, whatever beverage you want to enjoy, you know, and relax. We're going to have a lot of fun. You know, I do have some things that I want to go over, but, you know, we'll talk Coke versus Pepsi. We'll talk iPhone versus Android. You know, we'll talk
DJI versus Skydio.
You know, well, yeah, we'll talk Eagles and Steelers and, you know, all this kind of stuff. You know, we're going to have a good time here. And I want you guys to be active and participate. And here's another little catch here. What I'm thinking about doing here is, for somebody that shows up in the chat, if you will say we're gonna do this here, I'm gonna call you out, okay? And this is if you want to participate. I'm gonna send you a link and have you on the show. So we'll have you on the show with us to join us for a few minutes if you like, okay? And if you want to participate, you know, I'm just gonna ask a question. If you'd like to participate, just put yes, I'd like to participate, and then I'll send me an email, and then I'll drop you a link to the show, and we'll have you on for a few minutes, and we'll have some fun that way. So we want to make things just a little bit different. So we'll start with Marcus, and then Ron, and then myself. Go for it, Marcus.
Dan, guys, we covered it. You know, I talked about a little bit about the Zino firmware update. I just posted a video on that today. I've been trying to. I actually made the video. Did the shooting last week, but I'm trying to put together a video on that high boxing protector. My first time running an RC car in probably 25 years. So that one, you'll probably get a kick out of that one. So that's coming out soon. other than that, man, I'm just stoked about this Skydio. So that's about the size of it. How about you, Ron?
Yeah, I'm just like you. We've been waiting for the next big thing to drop in the drone world. We call it the drone this summer. I mean, again, and there was a lot of great drones out there. All the both Mavic 2s and Navis, a lot of great drones to fly. But we call it the drone this summer because nothing interesting showed up. Now, finally, the Skydio shows up, and it's got, you know, it's got something nobody else has. That you know, that crazy follow. I don't want to say optical avoidance, but whatever they call that crazy follow me feature. So it's something to get the juices flowing again. I know we won't see this thing until like it's cold and snowing out for most of us. Of course, Bill will be able to fly warm air. In fact, here's a suggestion: when the Skydios come here, Mark and I ought to hop a flight down to Tampa. We go out to North Rankin Beach and fly the Skydio through that pier, the North Rankin abandoned pier.
Absolutely,
So,
that will be a blast.
How's the weather down there in December 1st? It's still
yeah, it's still nice. It doesn't get above like 75 or 80 in December, and it's just so nice. It's just the humidity takes a break as well too.
We'll get the same people back when we flew the last time. Remember that one couple? I said they're like a model, kept walking through a video and whatever. They were this good-looking couple, like they just got married. And then that one little kid came by and called us drone experts, and he got your autograph or whatever.
That's right. We had a blast. So we're gonna get Marcus and Sarah down here, and we're gonna go to North Reddington Beach, and then we're gonna go out, and I'm gonna take you guys to a better. I mean, we went to a good one out by North Reddington Beach. I'm going to take you guys out to a better one here, Circles, okay, where we ate for our birthday. I'm telling you, this restaurant is just incredible, all right? You know, one of the things that I do have to say, though, it exactly wasn't a droneless summer.
Oh,
okay?
It wasn't.
We cannot forget and pay homage to the great golden egg, okay? With many thanks
where that was.
With many thanks to our good friend, Mr. True Drone Reviews, Brian Singleton. Brian, you have started a legend here, okay? And you know what? I think what we're going to do on Saturday, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to announce who the next owner of the golden egg is on Saturday. So if you want to be included in the wonderful opportunity to own this fine piece of technology, be there Saturday night, because we'll be, like I said, we're going to have a lot of fun here, and I hope to see you guys there. And this is one of the things that that will fall upon some lucky victim. I mean, no person, but but anyway, it was a great night tonight. We covered a ton of stuff tonight. It was just fantastic. We had a great time here. And who thought, I thought going into today, I says, we'll probably talk about the Osmo Action a little bit, the GoPro Hero a little bit. Yes, Brad Hendo, it does fly, believe it or not. If you want to look back, I have a video on it. Marcus has one, and Ron has one too.
And
Brian
as well. So yes, it does fly, believe it or not. Okay. It does not look like it does, but it does. It kind of has a mind of its own. I will say that. So, but yeah, definitely, it was a great day. It was a banner day today. This droneless summer is over with Skydio's announcement today. We're all excited. I'm excited for something that's coming. And I think we're going to see more at the end of the year. I think we're going to see a lot of activity October, November, and December as far as drones are concerned. So,
hey, Bill, what kind of day was it?
It was a great day to fly, Ron. All right. Hey, everybody. Have a great evening. See you Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Same time, same drone time, same drone channel here.
Bring your 6-packs.
Bring your 6-packs. Absolutely.
Good night, everybody. And hit that thumbs up.
Yes, please do.